Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Arvind Das from Chicago. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Arvindash Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much for always joining this call. Please keep joining, Prabhu. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Kalpataru Dasi. I'm from Chicago. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. It is so nice to see you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Kalpataru Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances, Mata. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you very, very much for joining this Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call, Mata. Please keep giving us your association. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Nina Mataji. Go ahead, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Nina Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharajas, and all glories to the assembled devotees. This is Tiffany in Pennsylvania. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Tiffany Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet, Mata. All glories to your services first, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all our Guru Maharajas and all the assembled devotees here, Mataji. Thank you very much for once again for all your services, Mataji. Welcome.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Nina.
Krishna.
Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from Texas. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Mata, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Wonderful to hear your chanting every day, Mataji. Thank you so much for your association, Mataji. Welcome. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Nina Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. And to all the assembled devotees here, this is Megha from Naperville. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Megha Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances, Mata. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for joining this call regularly and consistently, Mataji. Welcome. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Naina Mataji. This is Kamla Gopi Devi Dasi here. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Prabhupada, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to all Vaishnavas. Hare Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Kamala Mataji. Wonderful to hear your voice, Mata. Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharajas, and all glories to all the assembled Vaishnavas here. Thank you very much, Kamala Mataji, for joining this call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Gauranga, and all the assembled devotees. Yashamati from Chicago.
Hare Krishna, Yashamati Mataji, my Dandavat Pranam to you, Mata. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you very much for every day joining this call, Mataji. What a wonderful inspiration for all the Vaishnavas here. Please keep joining, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Nina Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharajis. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumar Devidasi from Rana.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Mataji. You're as sweet and as wonderful as your name, Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much for joining the Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call, Mataji. Please keep joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Nina Mataji. Dandavat Pranam to you and all Vaishnava. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki jai. Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Vrinda Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances, Mata. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you very much for consistently joining this call, Mataji. And thank you for all your questions and your wonderful comments, Mataji. Welcome to the Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Nina Mataji. My Dandavat Pranam to you and to all assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Guru and Gauranga.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet, Mata. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharajas. All glories to Guru and Gauranga. Thank you very much for joining the call, Mataji. Welcome. Please keep joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to Guru Pada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. All glories to assembled devotee. This is Mohini Lakshmi from Detroit.
Haribol Mohini Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances, Mata. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you very much, Mataji. It's wonderful to see your consistency, your dedication, Mataji. Thank you very much for joining this Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. Please keep joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Nina Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. This is Aditi Devi Dasi from Canada.
Hare Krishna, Aditi Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet, Mata. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai, and of course, all glories to the assembled Vaishnavas here, Mataji. Thank you very much for your services, Mataji. Please keep joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna, Nina Mataji. Please accept my obeisances. This Sukakar Krishnadas, all glories to Prabhupada, all glories to all the Guru Maharaj, all glories to all the devotees of Sangha, the best group. Thank you very much for allowing me to join.
Haribol Prabhuji, it's wonderful to see you. And what can we say about your wonderful dedication towards your questions, your comments? They're so interesting, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
All your mercy and all your bhakti. Because of you all, I'm getting. Aapka rang se mera sang se mera rang badal raha hai.
How wonderful, how wonderful. Please accept my humble obeisances, Prabhu. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all our Guru Maharajas, and of course, all the assembled devotees. Thank you, Prabhu. Please keep joining and please keep gracing.
Definitely.
Thank you for your association.
In my last breathing, I'll be with Sangha.
Wonderful. Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. I offer my obeisances to all the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. And Mataji, one more thing, that one day Vrinda Gopika Mataji was introducing herself and I just interrupted her accidentally. I'm so sorry for that.
No, Prabhu, it's okay. Sometimes there is always a delay, so there are sometimes speaker speak like 2-3 people at the same time, but please, there is no offense, Prabhu. This is as a non-judgmental platform. So I please accept my humble obeisances, Prabhu. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj, and feel free to ask any questions whenever you want. Your comments, your associations, they're all welcome. Welcome once again. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Nina Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai, Preeti Dasi from Charlotte. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Preeti Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances, Mata. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much for joining Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call, Mataji. Thank you so much for your association. Please keep joining. Haribol.
Hare Krishna, Nina Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to the assembled devotees. This is Anita from Sharjah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Anita Mataji. Please accept my Dandavat Pranam, Mata. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Wonderful to see you, hear your voice every time, Mataji. Thank you for joining Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call, Mata. Please keep giving us your association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. This is Dhanashri from Mumbai, India. All glories to all the masters and all my pranams to all the devotees. I wish you all a very happy Janmashtami.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances, Mata. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much for joining this Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. Please keep gracing this association, Mataji. So I think I see Maharaj already has joined. So devotees, we will proceed to the next session, which is the Srimad Bhagavatam study. And today we are very fortunate to have His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj, who has joined us already. And Maharaj is going to enlighten us from Srimad Bhagavatam, from canto number 6, chapter 1, verse 63. Haribol Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much for your association. Maharaj, whenever you're ready, you may take the call over. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Gyantimirandasya Ginajana Salakaya Chaksu Unnalitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimakti Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pacharine Nirvisesa Sunyavari Prastyatya Dev Satarine Vanchakalpa Tarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Tannimitta Smaram Vyaja Rahadrasto Vichetanaha Tameva Manasa Gyayan Swadharmad Viramaha. Translation. In the same way that the sun and the moon are eclipsed by a low planet, the Brahmin lost all his good sense. Taking advantage of the situation, he always thought of the prostitute, and within a short time, he took her as a servant in his house and abandoned all the regulative principles of the Brahmana. Srila Prabhupada's purport. By speaking this verse, Sukadeva Goswami wants to impress upon the mind of the reader that Ajamil's exalted position as a Brahmin was vanquished by his association with the prostitute, so much so that he forgot all his Brahminical activities. Nevertheless, at the end of his life, by chanting the 4 syllables of the name Narayana, he was saved from the greatest danger of falling down. Even a little devotional service can save one from the greatest danger. Devotional service, which begins with chanting of the holy name of the Lord, is so powerful that even if one falls down from the exalted position of the Brahmana through sexual indulgence, he can be saved from all calamities if he somehow or other chants the holy name of the Lord. This is the extraordinary power of the Lord's holy name. Therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita, it is advised that one not forget the chanting of the holy name, even for a moment. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha drithavataha. There are so many dangers in this material world that one may fall down from an exalted position at any time. Yet if one keeps himself always pure and steady by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, he will be safe without a doubt. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So in this series of verses, we see the results of Ajamil's distraction. He was a Brahmin boy, very nicely raised in a family of worshiping the Supreme Lord, following Brahminical principles, lived a very pure life, but somehow or other, he became diverted. And this shows the power of the material energy, and Maya is very strong. Even one who is apparently situated nicely in devotional practice can be diverted. And this is the adiras, the feature of the material world. Pumsastriya mituni baba metan trayor ilatan avajani ahur. What is that? Sutapa janasamoham yamaham mameti. That the attraction between male and female is so powerful in this world that it can even overshadow one who is fixed in devotional service. But one who is really fixed or one who is situated nicely in the chanting of the holy name of the Lord will always be protected from this attraction and from this ultimate fall down. This is the power of the holy name. The holy name is Krishna himself in sound. Chintamani Nitya Krishna Krishna Siddha Prema Sabu Kavanoi Sabanari Siddhi Chitte Kodiye Udoi. That this chanting of the holy name awakens one's attraction for Krishna, who is situated in our heart. The only way one can overcome the power of the illusionary energy in the form of Maya, or in the form of the attraction to the opposite sex, is that one needs to take full shelter of Krishna in devotion. Only then is it possible. No types of austerities, penances, various types of distancing themselves from the attraction. Nothing in this world can overcome this power. It is the feature of the material world. This is what makes the material world, because the attraction between male and female. If that wasn't there, there would be no material world. People would not even want to live in this world if that wasn't there. People would do nothing if that wasn't there. But because it's there and because it is powerful, but what is it? It is the natural love for Krishna diverted away from Krishna towards the opposite sex. When that redirection of that same energy, which is called the Adiras, towards Krishna, then again it regains its pure nature. And once it regains its pure nature and develops in that, then one can be fixed in devotion to Krishna. But only when one develops actual, genuine attraction for Krishna through the chanting of the holy name and through serving Krishna, only then can one be somewhat safe from the effects of the material energy. We have the example of Subari Muni. Subari Muni was a great yogi. He could meditate underwater for so many years. In fact, he was meditating underwater for decades. And then all of a sudden, he saw two fish engaged in copulation. And then his mind became distracted by that. He gave up his yoga practice and became a householder, and he married 50 ladies. That story is mentioned in the 9th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. We have the example of Ajami here, and then we have so many examples how this power of the opposite sex is so strong that it cannot be resisted only by something that is higher. That's why Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Visya Vinavartante, Niharasya Dehinam, Vaso Vyarjam, Vaso Pyasya, Param Drisva Nivartante. Only when one has developed a higher taste can they give up the lower taste. Any material taste is a lower taste, but the higher taste is attraction to Krishna in devotion. And that can only be cemented or formulated through what we say fixed devotional service. And I use that word with emphasis just to show how powerful this attraction in the material world is. It is so powerful. And Prabhupada writes that in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 1st canto, 2nd chapter, verse number 16. He explains that many stalwart Vaishnavas have fallen from the path of devotional service because of the attraction because of the attraction for either money or women. He said these are the two powerful features that attract the conditioned souls. Money and women, of course, they go together. You can't separate them. And therefore, one should be very conscious of that. Now, sometimes we even see that we make the mistake in our Krishna consciousness society thinking that A householder who is married is all right to associate with other ladies because he is married. Sometimes that is taken for granted, but that shouldn't be a criteria for that association. Association with the opposite sex should only be done for carrying on the process of Krishna consciousness, and only in a limited amount of time. What is that a limited time? Just when it's just absolutely necessary for carrying on the service. And of course, one should also be very, very careful. So that carefulness means always being aware that at any time, just we see the example here of Ajamya, no one would have thought he could fall down in such a way, but he did. He gave up everything, as it says here, just as the sun and the moon are eclipsed by a lower planet, he lost all his good sense. And so much so that that attraction led to him to change his whole life. Not only did he maintain this prostitute as his wife, had a big family, but committed illegal activities in order to maintain her and the family he created. So we see that when one becomes attracted and attached in that way, they lose all, as it says here, he lost all good sense. But then Prabhupada goes on to explain that one should regularly, with determination, chant the holy names of the Lord. So if you go back down to the purport, towards the end of the purport, we get some of the statements that Prabhupada makes here. Can we go to the end of the purport? Yeah, right there, that's fine. Just leave it there. So he says here, but somehow one can be saved from all calamities if one chants the holy name of the Lord. So one should not minimize the importance of chanting, and one should chant with attention and with devotion. And Prabhupada said this pure and steady chanting, one will be safe without a doubt. When Prabhupada was giving out, when he was here, he wanted to make some of his senior devotees into the renounced order of life. Prabhupada knew some of them, some of his disciples were not ready to take sannyas order of life. But he took a chance, he needed these persons to preach Krishna consciousness because Prabhupada knew that his time in the material world was getting short. And therefore he took a chance and he said, we can give this sannyas order of life to one who is fixed in the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. They may not be fixed on the spiritual platform, but if they're fixed in the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, then that fixation is enough to carry one through and then reach the spiritual platform. So we see how powerful and how exalted this chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is. Goloka Premadana Harinam Sankirtan is coming from the spiritual world itself. Therefore, when we understand the process of chanting, we also understand that the chanting is the process. The process is to come to the point of chanting more and more and more. Because chanting connects us to Krishna, chanting frees us from the attachments of the material world, chanting purifies the consciousness, and chanting will give protection against the influences of Maya, which are so profuse in this age of Kali. This age of Kali has created so many, many distractions in spiritual life that it becomes so much overwhelming what one has to deal with. Therefore, we see many people want to go to secluded places to be away from all of this. But even going there, if the mind is not purified, it will meditate and start to think of sense gratification, especially in the form of women and money. So just going to a holy place doesn't relieve one of that attraction. The attraction remains on the subtle platform, and if it continues, the gross platform will again be reawakened. Put it back. So these are the features that one should really. So this verse is very powerful, and it shows. And Prabhupada makes the reference. Oh, he didn't even chant the holy name of Krishna. The holy name of Krishna is even more powerful than the holy name of Narayan. But Narayan is also powerful, and that is the name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And so when he chanted that 4-syllable name, Narayana, as he says, he was saved from the greatest danger of falling down. So by Krishna's mercy, because of his early devotion, somehow or other, the Lord didn't forget him and arranged for him to name his son Narayana. So that was the Lord's arrangement. It says that there is a reference to another text where it says in that text that one particular sadhu came to the house of Ajamil when he was not home. His wife answered the door, and he said, "I know you are about to have another child. Therefore, the request is, please name the child after the Supreme Lord, Narayan." So the Lord sent that sadhu to remind both the wife and the husband that here is the name that you should name your baby. And he did. And because of that, that was his saving grace. I mean, he was destined for hell and suffering for so many long periods of time and then thrown into a hellish condition of life. But because he chanted that name, Narayana, without offense, remembering Narayan when he hurt himself, he called his son, but he remembered the name, he remembered the Lord when he heard his own name call the Lord's name. And that was enough to stop the Yamadutas from taking him away into the lower planets for punishment. And because of that, he was relieved of all his sinful activities. He had to live another 10 years. He went to Hardwar, and in that 10 years in Hardwar, he completely engaged in pure devotional service. And at the end of that 10 years, at the age of 100 years old, he left his body and went back to the spiritual world. So here's the mercy of the Lord in the form of the holy name. Should never be minimized, it should never be neglected. Even if one is struggling to chant the holy name, one should not give up that struggle and think, oh, this is too difficult. Let me do something different. I've seen that with people, they can't chant for some reason, or they won't put the effort to try to chant. And because of that, the mind finds excuses to give up the chanting, and they go back to their ways of material life again, having some affection for Krishna consciousness and Krishna himself, but not really fixed in the process, because the holy name is the Yuga Dharma. Kalir Doshani Di Rajan Asti Eko Mahagun Kirtana Eko Krishna Syamukta Sandhya. So one should not be foolish to think, even if it's hard to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and it may be at certain times, the mind might be restless, the conditions may not be ideal for chanting. Well, whatever the situation is, the body and mind might be complaining about some ailments or just tiredness or whatever, but still that should never be a reason to give up the chanting of the holy name, because Krishna will see, oh, this person is trying for me, let me help them. So as long as we keep that mood and sitting down with and associating with devotees who are fixed in the chanting of the holy name, will give one the enthusiasm and the inspiration to continue and develop their own chanting. So chant, chant, chant is the message here. And as Prabhupada said, one will stay pure and steady, and then one will, without a doubt, be safe. Safe from the dangers of the material world. Because one should always remember that as long as I'm still in this material world, I can fall down at any time, no matter how advanced I am. If one keeps that in mind, one should never think I am safe. And therefore, I don't need to try so hard. I can take it easy. I can relax. Maya is far away. Maya's now Maya's invisible. She's still nearby, but she's less visible. And then when the time comes, she'll look for that time when you're a little attentive in Krishna consciousness, and boom, she grabs you. This is the material energy. She's very intelligent, and she knows how to use her powers to attract the conditioned souls. And so here we get an indication of how easy it is that one can slip from their spiritual practice, but how powerful one can remain situated in their spiritual practice if they chant holy names of the Lord regularly with attention, with devotion. And chanting is nice. One should never consider chanting a duty or a chore. It should be considered to be the best activity I can perform in my spiritual practice. Okay, so a little bit about Ajamil and the power of Maya and the supreme power of Krishna in the form of the holy name.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you very much for your wonderful association, and thank you so much for constantly emphasizing on the chanting thing. That's the main area where we struggle constantly. Maharaj, thank you very much. What a wonderful class. Devotees, if you have, should I open the line for question answers for you, Maharaj? Do you want to say a few words more, or are we ready to take questions?
I think I'm ready to take questions because we never know how long this may continue.
Yes. Okay.
So go to gallery and put everyone up.
Yes. Hare Krishna devotees, if you don't mind switching on your videos so Maharaj can see everybody. And of course, go ahead and feel free to unmute yourself and ask your questions. I already see Shukahara Krishna Prabhuji, if you would like to go ahead, please.
Can you put the gallery up? Well, let's see. Yeah, okay, we got it. Now we got it.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam, Candramauli Maharaj. So wonderful. So much about chanting you were telling. So just I want to check up, Maharaj, for this Kali Yuga, this chanting, Kirtana, Satatam Kirti we are trying to do, but 24 hours is not happening. It's coming on and off. I'm having a clicker in my hand. I'm chanting morning around 32 rounds, evening some rounds, but 24/7, because anytime the death can come and anytime the Maya can come. So how to do 24/7, 24 hours while in sleeping also?
How to do 24 hours a day? Well, that's for Srila Haridas Thakur. If you're on the same level of Haridas Thakur, then you can do that.
No, not at all, not at all. Just your advice, Maharaj.
But in order to fortify our consciousness, we need to do other activities, such as Vaishnava Seva. Serving the Vaishnavas, reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, performing some duties along with chanting the holy name, and that will balance out our consciousness. And if you continue to do that, you'll find that you'll develop a more and more taste for chanting.
Maharaj, every day morning I do one Zoom class in Tamil in Chennai, 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. 10 to 11 I do a Zoom class in Bhagavatam in Malayalam in Kannur, and again at 12 to 1 in Delhi, Noida in Hindi, and 3 to 4 in Bangladesh in Bengali, and evening 7 to 8 Dubai English, and 9 to 10 Doha Tamil. So I am keeping 5 Zoom classes every day. Plus this Sangha also I never miss it. And morning chanting 4 to 7:30. But still I am greedy. Still I am not happy. I'm not happy, and
well, because you're not back to Godhead.
So
yeah, you're still in the material world. That's why you're not happy. But that's okay. But you continue to go on and preach, because preaching is actually what we say non-different than going back home, back to Godhead. It's a guaranteed ticket. So just be patient.
Yes, Maharaj.
Continue to chant and continue to preach, and whenever you see Maya, just chase her away.
Thank you for your blessings and suggestion, Maharaj. At your lotus feet. Dandavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna. I think I can take, I would love to hear some of your classes. I think I could learn something.
I'm your servant, Maharaj. I'm your servant at your lotus feet. I'm a dust at your lotus feet.
You are Krishna Das. I'm something else.
Krishna Das and also Vaishnav Das. All Krishna's disciples. Thank you, Maharaj. Seek your blessings always, 24/7. Candramauli Maharaj ki jai ho.
Jai. Maharaj, a quick question. We always hear about Ajamil at the last minute, how he was saved and he was delivered. It sometimes comes to my mind, what happened to that prostitute? I mean, she was associating with Ajamil, and Ajamil was delivered. Do we have any reference for her? Like even
nice question. I'm sure there is information available, but it's not in the Bhagavatam. Because Bhagavatam deals with the essence, and the Puranas sometimes fill in all of the details that happened prior and after. Like, for instance, if you go to the Kurma Purana, you'll find what happened to King Vena after he was killed by the Brahmanas. And he got purified, and in his next birth he went to Kurukshetra, performed austerities there, and became purified and received the position of pure devotional service. So that's one example how the Puranas somehow fill in some of or add on to the actual stories that are mentioned in the Bhagavatam. So what I'm saying is basically you need to do some research and see what you can find. I don't have any knowledge of what happened to her, but I'm sure, and I can say this with surety, there is information. And probably with the family also, because these are all histories. But this is also recorded.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Maharaj. I see Valli Mataji. Would you like to go ahead and ask your question, please?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Wonderful lecture. Actually, I was thinking about the same question of Mataji, but I was also thinking about the thing you said when the sadhu came to her house and he answered the door and she listened to his words also. So that is the main important turning point of the story. That's what I feel, Prabhuji. Because even if someone comes when the husband is not there in the house, she took care of the sadhu and she also listened and she spoke to her husband, and they finally decided to give the name as Narayana. So that is the main key point of the Ajamila Charitra, right? So
Yeah, that was his good.
maybe she
Yeah.
would have, she would have already got the moksha, as the Prahlad story says, right? The generations before and after also got liberated. And another thing, Maharaj, I was also in April, but I missed to see you last Sunday. I was so sad about that. I just couldn't get the information properly, and the day I was so busy in the other works. So I was feeling really sad, Maharaj. I couldn't even meet you when you came to our place here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Maharaj Valli Mataji is a very ardent devotee in Naperville. She's very regular, and Mataji is always busy with lot of services and lot of work here in Naperville. But regretfully, we thought she had seen the message that you are coming, and she was so disheartened that she missed out. And I want to let you know, everybody, Maharaj is such a great dancer. I mean, what an enthusiasm. Entire Naperville congregation was singing and dancing with him. Thank you, Maharaj, for gracing here in Chicago area.
When I listen more on that, I feel more sad. So I missed a lot. That is a once in a lifetime opportunity. How did I miss this one? So I even feel sad whenever I think about it, Maharaj. Sorry about that.
By Krishna's grace, I'll be back.
Sure, definitely, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I would like to meet all the devotees. It's such a wonderful project that's developing.
Devotees, any questions, any remarks?
Yeah, maybe you didn't see my hand up because of the background. Thank you very much.
Please go ahead.
My Danvat Pranam, Candramauli Swami. And I'm just speaking this to keep in touch with you. As soon as you come in touch with the exalted Vaishnavas and their mercy, our visas to Golok is guaranteed. So that's the reason I'm speaking to you. Every time I have a chance to speak to an exalted Vaishnava, I don't miss that. Sadhu Sangha, love matra Sadhu Sangha, I'm looking for all the time. All right. And regarding the question Dina Mataji asked about, what happened to the woman. So from the Bhagavatam, we can little extrapolate this, analogy. I had already actually asked these questions in another class also. And that's where we came to that, Bhagavatam mentions that both parents were attached to the small child. So I'm sure the mother also spoke so many times the name Narayan. That's for sure. We cannot say that she did not. Okay. So that guarantees all her sins were gone. That's for sure. Okay. And next, what could have happened is that she must have also been attached to the man also, the husband. So the husband got delivered. So she must have been also the same fate. All my life, I have dealt with women because of my professional practice. So I was always worried about the woman, what happened to her. So that's the reason like that. So that was one part of my comment here. Another part is Sukhakar Prabhu's question that how can we keep 24/7 in chanting like that? Right now, what I do practically in my life is that I'm a retired person. So I have put strategic places in my house that this place, if I reach there, I have to speak this slok. For example, going upstairs in my house, coming down from the upstairs, I have to speak 3 times the slok, the mantra. There are other strategies are there that, when I wake up, I have scheduled the time. When I wake up at 3:30, by the time I start this class, I have to speak so many Bhagavatam slokas and everything, plus chant, as and when in between like that. So scheduling my mind helps me like that. And this I learned from Rushabdev Maharaj slok, which says, Evam mana karma vasam prayumte avidya atma upadhyamane pritir nayavan mayi vasudeva namuchyate deh yoge natavat. So unless I develop priti for Bhagavan Krishna and his katha and sadhus and his devotees, there is no chance of remembering them all the time. right? Just like Mirabai. Mirabai, so nice bhajan.
Krishna says the same thing. Said, it's not possible to remember me always unless you develop love for me.
That's right. Mirabai says, Palaka Palasovat Kambini. She's remembering so much Lord Krishna, and she feels sleepy. She goes to sleep. As soon as she's fallen asleep, Bhavan Krishna comes her in dream. And she says that, if she wants to welcome Lord Krishna, that's the time she loses her dream, and then she she feels bad about that. So all these are very exalted emotions, and if you only try, endeavor, parishram and krupa, these are the two fingers short in Mother Yashoda's binding Lord Krishna. So if we do parishram, like sadhu sang, and do whatever we can do to get little association with Vaishnavas who are exalted and perfected their life, that will give us mercy from Lord Krishna, and that can allow us to chant 24/7. Thank you very much for allowing me to speak, Maharaj.
Thank you. You have hit the essence of Krishna consciousness.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for your comments. Really, very nice.
Thank you, Pralananda Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you for the.
Thank you, Haribol.
Yes. I have a question from Jyoti. We have some comments from Jyoti Mataji. She, of course, offers her humble obeisances at Maharaj's lotus feet. And because of Jyoti Mataji has a determination in her heart, and her mother is also chanting now. Now, Mataji has a question to Maharaj. Can you give us the mantra that we should say as an obeisance to the bead bag? So the japa mala, yeah.
Say that again, the mantra that is.
If she's requesting, if you could kindly give her a mantra that she can say to her beads, to her holy beads prior to chanting or to bead bags. Any mantra that she should say as an obeisance to the bead.
Prabhupada taught us, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. This is also Maha Mantra, and it must precede the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. We can also offer our respectful obeisances to Srila Prabhupada by chanting his prana mantra. We can also enforce or reinforce the strength of our chanting by beginning by chanting the Shikshastika prayers by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And there's many series of prayers that are preludes and activities during japa also. And then when we finish, also we can offer our obeisances. Thank the Lord for the opportunity to chant his holy name. So, but the main mantra is the Panchatattva mantra. That's the preliminary mantra.
Thank you, Maharaj. She has a follow-up question, and Mataji is asking, how should we develop the emotions or preeti while reading Srila Prabhupada's book?
Should read with try to understand. Read with the mood of there's called prayerful reading, or reading in the mood to understand. That means you have to carefully read and think as you're reading what this mean. Not just reading the words and going from one line to another, but what we say very contritely with focus. Think about what is being said as you're reading it. And prayerful reading means also that the Bhagavatam is Krishna himself. So you're approaching Krishna in the mood of his literary incarnation, Srimad Bhagavatam. So we read in a prayerful mood. There's many points that you can include in your chanting, which centers around the same principles that we apply when our reading also. Prayer, reflections. There are many devotees who spend sometimes a half hour offering prayers prior to the beginning of their chanting, some even more. So it's nice to introduce the chanting in the form of prayer, other prayers. Ainanda tanuja kinkaram patitam manglishame bhavambuyo Vipaya tavapada pankaja stita duli sadrisham vichintaya. O son of Maharaj Nanda, Krishna, I am your eternal servant. Somewhere or other, I've fallen into this ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death. Place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. This is a prayer of helplessness, a prayer of understanding our position, of being swallowed up by this material energy with no other recourse but to call out to Krishna for his mercy. Practice that.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Maharaj. I'm sure Mataji found it very helpful. Is there any other questions, remarks?
Thank you, Maharaj. That was very wonderful answer and very nice class, Maharaj. I have a request that can you please share some memories with Srila Prabhupada, because Srila Prabhupada's appearance day is coming up. It's on Saturday here in Charlotte.
Yes, wonderful.
I'll tell you one personal story if you want. It's just it's not a personal story, but it's part of an event that I was attending when Prabhupada was there. We were on a morning walk in Central Park in New York, which is quite a large park, which also had roadways that go through the park. Prabhupada was there and we were walking. There were many devotees, senior devotees. And Prabhupada would stop occasionally, turn around and give a little insight into spiritual knowledge. And then he would continue. At one point, he stopped and he referred to the cars driving along the roadway that were going in and around the park. And he posed a question to all of us. He said, we see the man is running on 4 wheels and the dog, he's also running, but he's running on 4 legs. So what is the difference? Well, that was Prabhupada's question to us. The man is running on 4 wheels, 4 tires. The dog's running on 4 legs. What's the difference? None of us could really understand what was the right answer that Prabhupada was looking for. But then Prabhupada gave it. He said, there is no difference. Both are running for sense gratification. Therefore, even though the running appears to be different, the goal is the same. The man is running for sense gratification. The dog is running for sense gratification. There is no difference. So try to understand the point. We look and we see people who are quite polished in the way they do things. And we think, oh, this is very nice. But what is it? It's the same thing that everybody else does, sense gratification. So in one sense, it's no better than the dog or no better than anyone else because the goal is the same, sense gratification. nice little lesson. We can learn that. Therefore, we don't become enamored by what happens in the material world, because the goal is the same, sense gratification.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. Thank you.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Yeah, we can see that all activities in this material world have the same goal: to enjoy the senses, either limited or extended, but it's the same. Therefore, one should see that there's nothing in this material world to aspire for, because sense gratification doesn't satisfy the soul. It may give some temporary relief to some bodily difficulties, but because it's temporary and because it's contrary to our real happiness, it is considered to be avoidable, something we should definitely avoid. Therefore, focus on Krishna. The world of Krishna consciousness is much greater than the material world. Prabhupada made that point. What happens in the spiritual realm is like, there was one question that came to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. He was publishing every day one newspaper on spiritual topics. So one man said, how is it possible that you could publish a newspaper on spiritual topics every day? And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati went into great detail to explain that the material world is only one 1/4 of the actual existence. 3/4 makes up the spiritual world. And we see in the material world, there's so many cities, so many planets, so many countries, and they're all putting out newspapers every day. So what to speak of the spiritual realm, we could put out a newspaper every minute. There's so much information available, so much knowledge in different categories. So which is greater, even in volume, is the spiritual. We simply have to go for it, that's all. One of the problems that devotees generally have is they don't have enough time for Krishna consciousness. It means that although they're busy in Krishna consciousness, they're always feeling that I got so much more I want to do. There's so much more I want to read. There's so much more I want, places I want to go. So it's just like it's overwhelming. And one thinks, boy, I'll never be able to complete I never fulfill all my spiritual desires in this life. And every day comes new stuff. So you're always getting more every day. So it's like you never have enough time. So the Goswamis used to forget to eat and sleep because they were so busy in Krishna consciousness. It's not that they didn't want to, they just forgot.
Wonderful. Maharaj, I have this beautiful comment from Asha Mataji that she was writing. She said, Hare Krishna, Maharaj, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. I was finding difficult to get up in the morning because I have evening classes. I was feeling sad, so I prayed to help me to the Lord. And one day I came across a video of Srila Prabhupada, and I immediately saved that as an alarm ringtone, which says in Srila Prabhupada's voice, get up, rascal, don't sleep, this is the opportunity. And it keeps repeating. I smilingly get up, because I am the biggest rascal. Pray the Shishtastikam and sing the Rupa Manjari also before chanting every day. This is fantastic, Mataji. I think you should share that ringtone with all of us. We all struggle in the morning. Maharaj, I don't know if you have any comments on that.
Yeah, we're all rascals. We like to sleep. We think sleeping is so nice. Jeev jago, Gova Chanda Bole, Kota Nidra, Jaya Maya Pisa Chita Kole. Wake up, sleeping soul. You're sleeping in the lap of Maya. Life is short. You're wasting time sleeping, decorating your dead bodies.
Vinitha Mataji also has saved that as a ringtone. Mataji, you have to share with all of us. I'm sure that will help all of us to wake up. First thing.
Yeah. There's something to wake up to. It's not like you're just waking up.
May I add a comment, Mataji, here? Just in this connection. Before I joined this group, which for my local time here in Las Vegas is 4:20 a.m. Before that, I used to wake up a little later than that. Then I was praying to Lord Krishna, I am now retired. Why don't you allow me to wake up a little earlier like that? Then I came across this song, and then I said, oh, that keeps me awake when it's 3:30. Even before setting the alarm, I am awake at 3:25. This is the eagerness I look forward to join this class, and to learn about
Krishna will do that. You set your alarm, and he'll always wake you up just before the alarm is
Yeah, that's how. So I'm saying that Vaishnava Sang and Sadhu Sang is so attractive that even you don't need to set alarm if you want. If you are so eager like that. And Rupa Goswami also says, Krishna Bhakti Ras Bhavita Mati Kriyatam Yadi Kutopi Labhyate. And if you are eager, the only mulya is eagerness. If you have eagerness, then you don't need to set even alarm. You go to sleep and say, oh, when will it be 3:30? I'll be awake.
Yeah.
That's what these are Bhagavan Krishna's mercy and Sadhu Sang's, attractiveness to our mind. That how eager I am to associate with the exalted Vaishnavas and to learn little bit from them.
We need to have that conviction that by getting up early, it says one should not sleep during the Brahma Muhurta hour, which is an hour and a half before sunrise.
Right.
And Prabhupada has given us a few formulas. I guess he was also talking about people in the temple mostly. But the problem is we take rest too late at night. That's our problem. And because of that, we waste the early morning hours, which are very precious. So Prabhupada did say one thing. He said, if you go to bed at 10, you get up at 4. If you go to bed at 12, you get up at 4. And if you go to bed at 2, you get up at 4. So get up at 4. Minimum, like no later than that.
Thank you very much, Maharaj.
Yeah. And sleeping is compared to death. It's like when you sleep, you're unconscious. So you're in a semi state of death. And so that's why Srila Prabhupada also said one time, he shocked us. This was in 1974. One devotee had come back just meeting Prabhupada in India. It was our temple leader. And he said, Prabhupada said something that he shocked all of us. He said, out of the 4 activities of the bodily necessities, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, he said the one that is the most dangerous is sleeping out of all of the 4. He said oversleeping leads to increased sex desire, and it also makes one makes one, let's see, what else did he say? It just wastes valuable time, he said. So he gave us a formula for temple, 6 hours maximum. Like that. But if you need a little bit more because of your health or because of your situation, fine. But the thing is, don't waste time by staying up late at night when there's no need to. Take rest by at least no later than 10 o'clock. And that way you'll be up early and you'll have, your day is good.
Thank you, Maharaj. And thanks to all the devotees for such wonderful comments and sharing your personal experiences. This helps all of us. We are looking forward to more of your questions. If you have any comments, please go ahead.
Thank you, Maharaj, for all of your association and your causeless mercy upon us. You are very busy schedule, but still you give so much time to us. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Shamagori. It was a great pleasure to be with you and your family and all the devotees in Charlotte. And then I understood who is the best dancer in Charlotte. The best dancer in Charlotte is the one that's hosting this program.
No, Maharaj.
She loves to dance and she's enthusiastic. When you dance, you preach. When you dance, you actually give a message to others that this is Krishna consciousness. Do it.
Finally, Mataji, may I share a little little contribution here?
Sure.
Okay. There is a very nice book which is known as The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I don't know whether you can see that. And this is by Stephen R. Covey. Why I'm mentioning this book is because it is based on Srimad Bhagavatam Gita as it is. Right? And the author himself has said that majority of this is from Bhagavad Gita, in which he is emphasizing one of the basic things which we are discussing is to go to bed early or wake up early in the morning. All very highly effective people, very successful people do that. Right? And, and because it is based on Bhagavad Gita, that's the reason I bought it. And it's such a nice...
Yeah, it's true, yeah. Stephen Covey.
Yeah, James Covey, right.
Yeah, Stephen Covey. He also wrote the foreword for Bhakti Tirtha Swami's second book called Leadership. Yeah, he's connected with our movement.
Right. So it's so nice book. I just wanted to share this so that people, because I didn't know that. When I read it, I said, wow. So
yeah, he's a good man.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, I think I have to depart because I'm gonna get inundated with other things coming up very soon. So we'll see you all again soon on the 31st of this month. I think it's the 31st, isn't it? Thursday? Yes. No. It's the first, I think. Yeah, it's the first. 1st of September is next 2 weeks from tonight. Today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your interesting and very inspiring questions, which really covered a lot of the essential principles that we need to know. Along with the philosophy, we have to really know how to practice Krishna consciousness. And if we're not trained in the activities of Krishna consciousness, becomes hard to practice the actual sadhana. So there are certain things that we need to know, and we covered some of them today. The importance of going to bed early and getting up early, very essential for our spiritual development.
Maharaj, we seek a blessing for the Janmashtami for all of us. In your
Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Hare. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank
Please
you,
accept our
Maharaj.
humble obeisances.
Hare
All
Krishna,
glories to Srila
Gurudev.
Prabhupada.
Thank you very much.
Very much, Maharaj.
Vasudeva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo
Listen to Deva
Yo Vaishnavebhyo
Namo
Vaishnavebhyo
Namo Namah Srila
Thank you,
Prabhupada.
Maharaj.
Chandramauli Maharaj.
Srila Prabhupada.
Jai.
Jai.